Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this show, I will tell you what exactly is really the beginning of the Indian stock markets today. Which are the sectors and the stocks that you're seeing momentum in, and where is the money going to be made? Well, at the start, we've had a solid opening for the Indian markets. The Sensex and the Nifty have had a gap up start to the session, almost recovering the losses that they had seen on Friday's session. And after the week, they seem to be getting some of the strength back. And this is despite the mixed cues that we were getting in the Asian markets and the lower closing that we have seen on Friday for the Wall Street as well, on the concerns of the rising of the interest rates coming in by the US Fed. But domestically, we did see the bulls coming back in action. Of course, this is after the macro data numbers that had been announced on Friday as far as the GDP, the first advanced estimates of GDP were announced by the NSO of 9.2%, estimating that financial year 2022 will be seeing a growth of 9.2% as against a weakness of a minus 7.3% on a year-on-year basis. So that's the kind of backdrop that we saw over the weekend, but the markets have seen a positive start. Now, when we see, there are some of the other cues also, but let's first quickly start off with the levels of what we've seen at the opening levels. Now, as far as the Nifty is concerned, we did see 100 point of a jump right at the opening tick. Around 17,930 is where the Nifty is currently trading at. The Sensex also saw an opening above 60,229, up 0.7%. So a very strong start to the opening as far as the Sensex is also concerned. The broader markets were in line with the benchmarks, higher by 0.6 odd percent. The Nifty Bank was the one that continued to outperform. Remember, in the first week of 2022, we have seen the Nifty Bank really take the lead from the front. It has been outperforming the benchmarks, and yet again, at the fresh start of a new week, we have seen the Nifty Bank again jumping over 1.1% in today's trade and recouping most of the losses that we had seen on Friday for the entire markets as well. Now, the IT names, some of the big wigs right ahead of their earnings this week itself, they are seeing some kind of a momentum on the upside. Remember, in the last week, we had seen some sluggish move on the mid cap and the large cap IT names, but some of the IT names are now catching some strength right ahead of the earnings right now. Apart from the pharma sector, rest all of the other sectors are actually trading in the green. Solid gains coming in for the banks and the realty space per se. Now, when we talk about some of the stocks that are the top gainers and the losers at this point in time for the markets, the gainers includes the names like TCS, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Maruti, and SBI. So private banks, PSU banks, some of the auto names and IT names really falling, gaining some strength. On the losing side, also you have a Wipro, which is not really contributing to the gains as far as the IT sector is concerned. Apart from that, it's all the pharma names, Cipla, Sun Pharma, Device Laboratories, and even a Hindalco that's seeing some kind of cut right at the opening levels. Now, we do have some of these other stocks that are in action because of the news flow. So keep an eye out on all of these stocks like Avenue Supermarts. Of course, it reported its earnings kick-started the Q3 earnings with its numbers on Saturday. Although the stock is just mildly up in trade right after the earnings report, but we did see some positive surprise on the net margin front. The company's standalone profit also rose nearly 25% on a year-on-year basis. And brokerage houses are again reporting target prices of over 7,000 rupees. So very, very bullish on the stock. 586 crore rupees of a profit is what the company really clocked in, with the revenue coming in at about a rise of 22 odd percent, 9,000 odd crore rupees in Q3. Mahanagar Gas is also in news today because the company has hiked the CNG prices by 2.5 rupees to 66 rupees per kilo. So that's something that is going to keep the stock quite buoyant. Tata Steel is in news because the company has increased its stake in the JV company. And again, apart from this, Interglobe Aviation is another aviation stock that is going to be in news. The airline has said that it will cancel around 20% of its flights because of the Omicron crisis. So again, the aviation, tourism, and the travel industry really taking a hit because of the third wave. So some more declines coming in for Interglobe Aviation right again. Keep that stock in mind in case you're looking to trade on the downside. Reliance Industries has announced an acquisition of New York's premium luxury hotel Mandarin Oriental. So that stock is again in news right now. And key factors which you need to really watch out for this entire week now would be the triggers coming in from earnings from the IT sector, And also we will be seeing some macro data flowing in of industrial production, the iip data, as well as the inflation numbers, both retail and as well as the wholesale inflation numbers. That will be key, will be defining how the markets will be trading this week as well. Apart from that, of course, news flow from omicron will be important to track, although there's some consolidation coming in at this kind of a rise, the fast pace of rise that we were seeing constantly. You can see, there is some kind of a relief coming in on the kind of doctors commentaries and the scientists commentaries coming in, that the virus is not very strong, it is a very mild virus. And some of the commentaries also really talking about how omicron is kind of providing a natural booster dose, or a vaccine kind of an against the virus, right, this at this point in time, because it's mild, it's symptoms are quite mild, and naturally the antibodies will be formed if one gets affected with omicron. And the markets are also somehow looking to discount that, as far as most of the experts who are talking about this thing as well. Apart from that, what you'll need to watch out for is the foreign inflows data as well. Remember, after months of straight outflows, so foreign institutional investors are now buying into the Indian markets. Right from the first week of 2022, we have seen 3,000 odd crore rupees of pouring from the FIIs. There are hopes building up that going forward from here, the FIIs will continue to put in more money from here on. So those are some of the triggers that you need to watch out for today, in terms of specific sectors and stocks, and as far as for the week, and the cues coming in from various triggers as well. And of course, just about 20 days from now, we will be seeing the first Feb union budget really coming in. So big, trigger will be provided by that as well. We'll keep you posted with all these updates on the market. So do stay tuned onto Business Today. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay connected with all our social media handles as well for all the updates on stock markets and on business news. Thanks for tuning in.